Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host. Returned from 2,000-mile journey, Mr. David Nall, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator, and I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many, 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 many blessings from the universe. Now, with that said, I this is Friday, July the 2nd, and yes, I'm back from my trip, and I've got some good news this afternoon, which is good. Um, my sister and I got back here to the house last Saturday, almost a week ago. And when she got home to Tampa, she had to go into the hospital. They said it was her heart, and it wasn't, which is good, but she still had to go in the hospital. She called me today and told me that she's doing much better, that it's GERD and her stomach and issues. And a lot of people have these kinds of things. And unfortunately, my sister has them as well. But the good news is my sister is doing better. She's out of the hospital. And my Aunt Shirley, who's 86 years old, who has fallen several times and has had issues. Hi, Doug. Hey, Susie. They're releasing her today from, she's been going through therapy and such for this last week. And so for myself, I have kind of been stuck in a prayer mode these last couple of days since I've been home because of family things. And also this, my sister said 2,500 miles. Well, 500 of that was from her house to here and back. So her and I traveled 2,000 miles together over this last 2 weeks that we were gone. But so my topic for today is the spirit of nature. And something that I've been mulling it over ever since I got back. Hey, Susie, Doug, Ian, how are you? I know there was no warning to this video. I was just checking some email and stuff, and it's warm outside. And I was like, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do a little live stream here this afternoon. But in the many people that I met while on this 2,000-mile journey, and having chatted with, friends and relatives and friends of relatives and so forth, and met with other people and just had conversations with folks, I realized that I was kind of surprised, actually, that spiritualism is alive, and in many cases alive and well, but in no particular way is it related to anything other than nature. And you go, well, Hawkeye, what do you mean by that? Well, there are folks that I've met, absolutely lovely, delightful people, okay? They do their best to be good people, to help other folks when they can. They're, close to nature in many ways. And in that closeness of nature, hey, Barry, how are you? They are spiritual. But in my conversations with some of these folks, the idea of spiritualism doesn't really come out, like going to church or saying prayers. But they all say prayers in their own way. Now, I'm just saying, but what connects them all without any particular, well, there is no religion to it, okay? Except that they find the spirit in nature. By being in nature, it gratifies them. By being close to, like being on the water and in an inner tube on the Chattahoochee River, or camping or hiking or whatever, or out in the boat fishing, even ice fishing, there is something spiritual about it, the being there, the whatever. But if any of these folks were to say, well, I go because I want to feel spiritual, they would pretty much categorically deny it, in that, no, I go into nature because it feels good. Okay, but, and in my questioning, very carefully, mind you, but doesn't that make you feel spiritual? Well, I don't really know. I'm saying this because I don't really know if they really understand what that means to them. And far be it from me to like even bring it up and broach the subject, okay? Because each one of these folks that I've met and spoke with, some relatives, some not, but, or friends of my relatives, they, everyone that goes in nature, and they all love nature one way or the other, that it makes them spiritual, unbeknownst to them. They are, because nature calls to them. Nature calls, got to go pee. But when nature calls, there is, got to go fishing, got to go camping, got to go hiking, got to go get on the river, whatever it is, that it fills them with the spirit. Now, that's my word. And having this conversation, well, why do you go hiking? Because it makes me feel good. I like to be out in nature. It fulfills me somehow. But very rarely was the word spirit ever used. In fact, I can't really think of anyone who actually used the word, because I was the one that was using the word spiritual. Well, when I go in nature, it is spiritual to me. Well, other people go, it just makes them feel good. But isn't that, um, hey, Max, how are you? In the lake list. I'm at the lake listening. Good. But so in thinking about this, all these people were spiritual, in my humble opinion, although they would not have stated such, that because they love to be in nature, because they have a connection, each one of them differently, but they all have a connection with nature. I love to go down to the river and put my feet in and fish, whether I catch anything or not. But why? Well, the river I was at was absolutely beautiful, the French Broad River up in Tennessee. And that's where I slipped and fell actually a week ago. And I'm still getting over it. My bones hurt. I've got a couple of scrapes and bruises that are still plaguing me a week later. But I'm moving kind of slow at the junction, Petticoat Junction. And that's Uncle Joe. He's moving kind of slow. Anyway, but so in y'all know me. I'm talking about the spirit all the time in one way or another. But in watching and listening to these folks, people out on the river, people are doing their thing. They're there because nature calls them. Nature, they can't seem to get away. The folks that live up in the mountains, they in talking with some of them folks, they have chosen where they live. They're not moving anywhere unless something bad happens and they gotta. But they're going to make the best of it where they're at, because the nature and the mountains and the smell of the fresh air in the morning time and at night, it fills them with with pleasure, with it whatever it does. But see, I'm avoiding the word spirit because they didn't use it. So I'm looking at these people though, and my observation is, whether they use the word spiritual or not, They are. And I think that's wonderful. They may not express it. I'm a shaman in training and so forth. Hey, Richard, great to see you all too. Hey, Teresa, did I send Davis email yesterday? You see how doesn't Hawkeye look great despite his fall? Yeah, I didn't look so good the other day. Okay, let me just tell you, I didn't look so good the other day. I felt kind of beat up. Um, and had I not, it could have been a lot worse. The fall could have absolutely been a lot worse. Big, huge rock that I was standing on twisted on me, and I landed backwards this way against a log. And hey, Lady Court, how are you? And I still have bruising on my back and on my shoulder back here. So, yeah. And I don't know if I think part of the divine was trying to push me down. But anyway, um, I consider that it's my years of, as a wannabe acrobat. Um, some of you may know, but um, I signed up for clown college. I wanted to be a clown seriously and traveled with Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey back in the day. And they would only accept like 35 people, and I was 37th on the list. And then I moved up here to Georgia and gave up the idea of being a clown. But pratfalls in doing theater and stuff, I learned how to do pratfalls and do comedy, slapstick, and I used to teach it for folks so they wouldn't get hurt. But anyway, so had I not had that and been able to spread my um, energy out when I fell, but anyway, I'm still alive. I still got some aches and pains from where I landed, but I'm 68 and a half years old. So and as my brother and I, Dennis, we use the same phrase. I ain't dead yet. He's been using that same phrase for years. It's just interesting. So I said every time I say I ain't dead yet, I'm going to think about him. But with my brother Dennis, he is spiritual. He goes outside and they participate in flintlock type of, black powder shooting, where he's won several awards for clay pigeons kind of thing. Hey, Loretta, did I say hi? Susie, yes, I'm like a weeble wobble. I usually don't land on my feet, but backwards is hard. Yeah. Weebles wobble, but we don't fall down. Well, I fell down, but I did get right back up. So, but that's one of my statements too, Max. I'm a weeble. I may wobble a lot, but I could still get back up. So I agree. So in my own spiritual journey for this trip, I saw the spirit in many things, and in trying to speak spiritual with people, I realized I was kind of speaking in tongues, in that they didn't really quite get where I was coming from. So I had to shut up and back off and observe what these folks what these folks' lives are. So when I notice they talk about hunting or camping or and or being out with people, my brother Dennis, he was the brother that no one knew about until a few years ago. He's a very, very nice man. He's a really nice guy. And I'm not just saying that because, he's my brother. Because I've got anyway, a non related brother who can be a real butthole. Okay. and causes issues. But we love them regardless. Sometimes it's harder to love the boisterous, out of sync people that we know. I'm trying to be tactful with my words because family members will watch this possibly, and I don't want to put anybody's. But I will talk about Dennis in that he and I had some very wonderful conversations about spiritualism, and he teaches. He does a on the weekends when they're out doing their thing. Uh, he will conduct a Sunday service for those folks who are there. And I find that very interesting and very rewarding. And I told him, I said, both of us believe in the Christ and the Christ consciousness, and that both of us believe in these core values. We just seem to approach it differently, but both of us are working for the same thing. We're both worried in so many ways about people's souls. We're worried about people in that, they can fall by the wayside and they can, and are confused and so forth. So I'm this is one of my boo-boos right there trying to heal on me. But anyway, it's itching, so that's a good thing. So in looking at family members and their friends and their family and offspring and grandchildren and so forth, even a great grandchild, I think there was, that there is kindness with all of them, whether they go to church or read a Bible. It doesn't matter how they treat one another, how they forgive one another for their transgressions, how nature seems to somehow be a part of each one of them. And in nature, they do have the spirit. Now, if I was to sit down, now I did sit down with one of my brothers and we had a conversation. And he does go to church. He does see the value of the spiritualism. But he also, in our discussion, he understands that it isn't the church itself, it's the people in the church. It's the community of the church that he goes to. And so it isn't just about the religion or the spirit, but with the people in the community who go to this church, that they all have a sense of community. They all have a sense of spirit, however you want to define it. So, in looking around at this journey for my own, I found my own spiritualism in the rocks and the trees and the water and the people that I met. But my observation of other people's um, spiritualism, it was just very interesting that they talk of nature. They talk about how it feels and how it makes them feel. They talk to each other and are kind and, and help each other out when necessary. And so you say, well, these folks aren't Bible thumpers. They're not, churchgoers in the sense. Uh, but I saw the spirit in each of them, and it was good. You know what I mean? And I was taken aback in that it was so subtle, but at the same time, it was very prevalent in their personality. Roman, hi, how are you? I also sit together with my not known brother. He is my uncle, but he's my brother. And he discovered a lot of things, but the best is his volcanic soil for plants. Oh, is Robert in the house? Yeah, thank you, Robert. I'm also not good in every time. in every time or space. Yeah. Like a sense of my spiritual side change. Oh, it was wonderful to see them. I met my brother Dennis for the first time ever. I met my brother um, Arno. Um, there were times when there were family reunions that I was there with. See, back then our they were my cousins uh, because I was adopted by my uncle. So, and God bless Arnie, let me tell you. So, he kept us together. He did what he could. And, you know, the honor that he gave me and my sister Lynn. And for those of you who, my sister is doing better. She's out of the hospital. It wasn't her chest that was bothering her, it was her stomach. And she's got GERD and different kinds of stomach ailments. And, you know, we drank a lot of coffee along the way. We did some things, and she's going to have to be a lot more careful with her diet. But in the spirit of things with not just my family members, but their family members, their siblings. I mean, I'm sorry, their children and their grandchildren, and that they all had this spiritual part of them that just seems to be ingrained in them in a way, and that I can't speak so much on the relatives offspring in that I didn't have a chance to really get to know them, but they were all kind to one another. There's a kindness there, and there's just a good feeling. They all love nature. They all like to be outside, outside and swimming and boating or whatever the activity is. And so by wanting to be a part of nature, that nature is a part of them. And so in nature, there is the spirit of the divine. And so to each of these folks that I met who had nothing to do with a church or an organization or anything, but they had a direct association with nature. And in my humble opinion, I'm, I'm it was an overwhelming trip. But in seeing how the spirit of love is in each one of them, in their own little degree of something, you know, and to have been able to literally hug my brothers and sisters for the first time after 68 and a half years of my life and of having the truth come out and the story and so forth. The spirit is in us all, the love, the spirit of that especially, but the nature of everything. They all love nature in some way. And so I got to share the divine with them. Not so much like I really wanted to. We spent a lot of time outside sitting and talking and chatting and versus being inside. I wanted to go jet skiing with my young sister, Eileen. She was the only one in the group that raised her hand. But the weather was not conducive. There were, you know, white caps on the lake. So I'm going to have to go back up there to go jet skiing with her. But anyway, but the idea, though, that the spirit of the divine, however you wish to uh, explain it or be a part of it or whatever, um, that to me, the fact that they love nature and love being in nature, love sharing nature with brothers and sisters and so forth, that they absolutely, especially after having met them, I can honestly say that they have met the divine, because otherwise they just wouldn't be the people that they are. And each one of us has had our own little issues and so forth. But just saying that someone may not read the Bible, someone may not be on a quote, a quest for their spiritual journey. Other people may just not, you know, but to go out in nature and go fishing, to go out and go hiking, to go out and be a part of nature. And some folks live in nature all the time in a way like me, but not quite the same. Um, that it's hard to say that there isn't, that they don't understand something divine in them, because you can't drag them out of the woods. They're not going. So, but you say, well, but they're living in the mountains and everything. They're connected to source energy. They're connected to Gaia, if you will. They're connected to Mother Earth. They're connected to nature. And isn't that the divine? So, regardless of what we may say, how these people, well, they don't go to church or they don't read their Bible. But I'm here to tell you that these folks may not go to church and they may not read the Bible, but these folks are spiritual beings. They wish no harm on anyone. They help people, and the neighbors help each other, and isn't that the divine law, in that we are good, loving peoples? Do we have to have a book? Well, if you don't read this book, then you're not part of my group. Well, I in this journey of mine, I noticed that there are a lot of people who don't read the book, but in my humble opinion, they understand on a cellular level, because they must be in nature, that they are connected somehow to the divine. They might not understand it, they might not question it or talk like I do about it, but yes, they are good spirited folk. Um, there's so much soul hunters on the way. What? Like some month I said, if a flu will take me away, I'm still here without something. Max says, there was an enlightened man before there were writings on enlightenment. Yes. And, for, me and my Native American stuff, most Native Americans never wrote anything down. You know what I mean? And as far as the vax thing, there are many of them folks who aren't taking it because. And been talking with my friends yesterday who dropped by to see me, and they were like, my child isn't getting the HPV thing. My child isn't getting this, and we ain't getting a that, and we're not getting this. And I'm like, conspiracy theorist. Well, uh, my niece would say, no, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just ain't putting nothing in me or my children that hasn't been properly tested. Period. That's it. Period. They're not jabbing us with nothing. Not on my watch, was her. And so, in discussing spiritualism, the spirit is, these folks love to go to nature. They love the outdoors. So, how could I, in any way, shape, or form, make a judgment call on, well, they're not paying attention. They're not listening to but wait a minute, hang on. They are listening. They're listening to themselves on a very deep level. And that level is so deep and intense. They must be outside. They must stay connected with nature. They must be a part of it. And they wiggle in and out of human nature and stuff. But none of my folks they wanted to live comfortably, but not excessively. So very modest homes, very modest neighborhoods, and none of them's interested in just the almighty dollar. So isn't that part of the spiritual realm of things? So, hey, Michelle, how are you? Trying growing food. Yep. The Indians did not write, but their clothes carry symbolic knowledge. Yes, and also on their lodges and teepees, and in some of the carvings and things that they passed on to others. But to the point, though, and I agree with you, Max. To this point, these folks, just because they didn't write it down or they didn't have a book to read from, the stories and the legends and just life in general, living, in nature, you can't help but not feel it if you're outside of, enough. Hey, Witch Moon. But anyway, um, I didn't, I wasn't, let me back up a second. I wasn't expecting anything. I had this conversation with you before in that um, I was not putting any kind of preconditions or what do I expect or anything like that. Thank you, Roman. Yes, each symbol has stories unwritten for, yeah. One symbol can be a day's worth of stories. That is true, Max. Absolutely. But with all these folks that I met over this, and I hope to go back up and hang out with some of these folks again, um, because they were spiritual people and that they loved being outside. So I love the fact that however they perceive it, I know that they're connected to the divine. So if someone were to say, "Well, Hawkeye, what do you think about this?" Well, I'm on a journey to save souls, and in a way, I am. And to point out to people, listen, if you're on the wrong path, you can always choose a better path. There's always another direction. There are always choices. Sometimes the choices aren't very easy for us, but whatever. So yeah, you bring up music, for example. Me and my brother played music for the first time ever. You know, Johnny, and he's got all kinds of band of equipment in his front room. It's a small studio, and so we had to get in there, and I spent about 30 minutes playing the drums, which I haven't played in like 30 years. That was a lot of fun. Got to play, some music and uh, do a little harmony with my brother. But if I was to say, well, do you read the Bible? And the answer would be no, then I'm in that Christian motif. I I could have said, well, you aren't really you folks aren't saved. And there's no way I could do that. But in watching and being around them and visiting and sharing and so forth, I realized that they have every bit as much of the divine in them because of who they've become. They all banded together to help Dolores, my mother, our mother, um, and to gave her a place to stay. They all joined in and helped her right up till the end. And so when we were all there, 8 of 9 of us survived and were there for that. And my brother John got out a box and he goes, "Mom's in here. Her ashes are in here. Everybody, touch the box, So we all touched the box and he set it on the table and said, "Well, we're all here, Mom," which was an interesting thing. But the frequency of music and song, but the frequency of nature and of love, the frequency of the divine. Because the thing that I found in all of them, regardless of whether or not they read the Bible or did any particular thing. You know what I'm saying? They all were aware of the nature and how it feels, and they might not be able to describe it. And what I found was that they were happy the way they are. So why should they like try to uncover it or look at it or something like that? And it was because it's sort of just a natural phenomenon to them to be close to nature, to respect nature, to, and to help other people. It's just so, why do I need a religion if I'm just like that? If the people around me are like that? And you got to scratch your head and go, So I found more spirituality without any kind of religion or any kind of shamanism or any kind of anything, because these people just live it. They still live it. They're still alive. I left them a week ago. So should we like condemn folks? I say no. Unless you get to know somebody, then you don't know what their heart is. So for folks, well, how many people are going to church? How many people are reading the Bible? How many people just really don't care about that crap anymore because it's all some kind of, dreamt up stuff? These folks have found, in my humble opinion, the divine spirit in the nature of everyday living. And that to me was the greatest gift, one of the greatest gifts of this journey. Sacred frequency, yeah. But see, they just do it. They're not paying attention. They just do it. They know when something's out of whack and they'll go put their feet in the river, kind of thing. But it's not an issue to them. It's a non-issue. Well, I am the way I am. I like to go fishing. I like to go out. I like to help my family. I like to do these things. And so, but they're not doing it for Christ. They're not doing it for a church. They're not doing it to make themselves feel better. They just know that it's the right thing to do. Period. And I was like, well, now that's just interesting. So I'm sure there are some folks out there but the folks that I had an opportunity to sit down and just have a little chat, nothing really, spectacular or anything. And that I I wasn't worried that they weren't spiritual or anything like that. I was curious as to whether or not my family, brothers and sisters were spiritual at all. And if so, just, you know, curious as to, are they going to church? Do they read the Bible? Now, but I could feel the presence of the divine in each one of them. And that to me was like, great. The world church, if you will, the sanctity of Mother Earth, they all, in some way, shape, or form, uh, recycled stuff. They all saw the value in fresh water. Everybody was toting drinking water. Everybody was toting drinking water. I mean, in the city and here, everybody was toting drinking water. None of the municipal water sources were very good. I found that to be quite interesting. But so some folks would go out in the country to a local farm, spring, or whatever. Um, oh, Loretta, I don't have any problems with reading the Bible. Okay. It's just that um, I found the Bible in two different houses. Hey, Chloe. And, there's good information in the Bible. I've got an old Bible that's sitting over here next to me, that's been sitting next to me here for years. So, um, but as far as, Christian churches, they would say, well, you guys don't go to church on Sundays. No, but they go out and they do stuff for their family. And so, but anyway, too many weird Christian churches, especially like the Catholic Church. And some of my family were, partially raised Catholic, because Dolores, our mother, was Catholic. But, we all know about that. But here's the thing. Not saying that my brothers or sisters or whoever don't read the Bible. That's not my point. It was that it's not there. It wasn't the only point. You know what I mean? At my brother John's, there was a Bible open to a couple of passages. So somebody was reading it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not condemning it in any way, shape, or form. It's when people say it's only the Bible that matters that bothers me, because there is so much more to spirituality than just the Bible. Does the Bible have good things in it? Yes. Can it be words of wisdom? And yes. Can it be instrumental in helping you spiritually? Absolutely. But these folks have found the divine simply by living with nature and being in nature and so forth. And I'm just absolutely surprised. And now this isn't me, I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from their religion or whatever. If you find that it's necessary, then by all means do so, But what I found was that their way of being a part of nature is to them the divine. I'm saying that. I'm using the word divine. They didn't. But I saw the connection. I feel the connection. And it's like, it's a good thing, It's a good thing. So, but anyway, I didn't want to be on here to, I don't adhere to Bible teaching strictly, just reference when. Right, Loretta, me too. Yesterday I watched about Apollo. Great myth. Yep. Apollyon. Yep. Nature. But anyway, so each to their own little way with little, my brother Dennis has got, of course, he blames it on his wife, but that's okay. She's a delightful lady too. But, little potted gardens of herbs and things and stuff around their house, and in their backyard they have fruit trees and so forth, and it's just a little mini orchard of such, and so each person that I met connected with nature in their own little way, but by being connected to nature, I saw that they understood a spirituality that even in their own head, they didn't even want to talk about it. Well, why should I talk about it? If I go out and I go fishing, it makes me feel good. Why should I care if it's spiritual or this, that, and the other thing? Good point. Me and my crazy brain, I got to, go through things and analyze, and that's who I am. But the fact that they understand that nature is important to them and they must do it at any and all cost, in a way, like, I gotta get outside, I gotta put my feet on I gotta be barefoot, I gotta, I was like, right on, y'all. Of all the things that I could have wished for, hoped for, is that they all had a connection with nature. And in that nature, these are my words, not my siblings or whatever, I saw their connection to the divine, and it was good. It makes me ecstatic. I'm just really happy. Go Shadow, how are you? Yeah, they don't talk it, they live it. That's true. Hey, Mossy Man, how are you? They're always end up calling the nature trip their church. Yep. But, it wasn't that. I mean, they help each other out in the community. I mean, such and such does a thing and they know of this person. And so it, I was just amazed, very happily amazed, in that regardless of any kind of religious connotation, these were good people, genuine from the heart. Now, if they didn't like it, they didn't like it. And a couple of folks would make no bones about telling you, I don't like your ass, you know what I mean? But, uh, so in watching other folks along this journey, it's just that, it's like, well, do we have to have a Bible to be spiritual? You know, do we have to have an agenda? I mean, I obviously kind of sort of have an agenda in that I'm studying to be a shaman in training and I want to learn these things. Whereas that was my calling and not theirs. But as brothers and sisters, they have a calling with nature. And that's so ingrained and so strong that it transcends any kind of books or writings. It's just a feeling. It is what's in here. So anyway, I just wanted to get on here and visit with you all a little bit. Let you all know that still here. The weather was absolutely delightful in Ohio. Um, they were complaining because it was hot. Nah, it's hot here right now. Hey, Candy Apple, thank you for showing up. You're welcome. So I'm not going to keep you all this afternoon. We got some storms coming in later on, supposedly down here in the south. I have, quite frankly, I've been worried about my sister. But when she called me today, I absolutely feel better. Kind of have to take a deep breath and everything because with my Aunt Shirley in the hospital, and hopefully they say she's going to be released today, but she's going to require a constant care now. Um, how fragile life can be, for myself and falling down and, getting cranked up and smacked up by a bunch of rocks. But, I'm not going to let that deter me. I got to go outside and put up a sweat. It's, the humidity's rough down here. Um, but I think for folks like us who are actively seeking knowledge and so forth, when I look around and I see people camping by a fire and the families having a good time when they're sitting on the bank in their of a lake or a river and they're having a picnic and everybody's happy and folks are boating and splashing in the water, you got to stop and ask. I do stop and ask yourself, are these people really in tune to what's going on? Do they really know what's going on in the universe? Do they know about ET and stuff? And to many of these people, quite frankly, they don't give two shits about it. What matters to them is, can they go fishing? Can we go, is the family going to get together? Do we have enough food on our plate? Do we have enough resources? And regardless of the resources, between the family members, they all may do one way or the other. Well, if I can't get this, I just have that. So I'm proud of my family. Uh, am the oldest of nine. We had a brother drowned in the Miami River when he was 3 years old, way back in the day. So that's why 8 of 9 returned. Uh, and I will try to get pictures and so forth up, and some little bit of video. But I thank you all so much for your support. And I know y'all were wondering how things going with me because you have said so. But I just got to say that I'm very proud, not just my family, but these other folks that I met who may not seem to be religious people or outwardly spiritual, but they all have this connection with Mother Earth and with nature that, I asked them quite bluntly, would you move out of the mountains, or would you stop hiking, or would you stop? And they're like, hell no. I live for this. So they live for nature. They live to be outdoors. They live for the experience that the outdoors gives them. And so these are my words. I say it's because they have a strong connection to the divine, that which binds us and holds us all, regardless of how we grew up, regardless of who our parents were. And I'm speaking for me, regardless of the bullshit we had to put up with for 68 and a half years to finally meet brothers and sisters and share. The world is a great place. We have the opportunity to change it. Had I not taken this opportunity, had my sister decided otherwise, would have missed this wonderful opportunity of meeting my family for the first time. Please don't give up. Please don't ever give up. Too many times in my life, I just, what the hell, I give up, Don't give up, please. Believe, 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 believe. There is a lot of power in belief. There is a lot of power in love that transcends miles. It transcends years. It transcends all kinds of petty and not so petty issues of family and cheating and wrongdoing and whatever. Not a clue who that is. But I do believe, I have believed for a long time. But this journey has helped me to, let me phrase it like this. I believed that I could do it. I believed that I could go and be with my family. I believed that we could make this happen. I believed in that. No, I don't know if I could have made that journey on my own, quite frankly. But with my sister and between the two of us, we made it. And I thanked her when she called me on the phone. I'm so glad she's doing better. But years ago, my belief in the spirit and my belief in the world is different than what it is now. If somebody had asked me 5 years ago, would this be possible? Would it be possible? Well, yeah, it's possible. But did I actually truly believe it? No, I didn't truly believe it. That's on me. But I didn't give up. And I refused to give up. Regardless of how bad it hurts, from falling on the rocks in the river to high humidities and sweating. The idea, though, that if you really want to make it happen, believe, 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 believe. And don't give up. Don't give in either. because I have for many years, I understand that I gave in to my own, well, I can't do this. It's beyond my reach. I don't know if I can do this. Da, 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 da. Now I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get back up there to visit, but I am. Because I believe I can do it. Me and Duggar might end up going camping for, whatever the trip is, because I surely couldn't afford hotel rooms. That stuff's expensive. But so for whatever it is in your life, believe, 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 believe. Don't give up. Don't give into it that, well, I don't know, that this could never happen. Well, we can't. We can't. Well, your brain will try to make up thousands of excuses. And what we need to do is just fold our arms quietly and go, yeah, okay, all right. But I believe that I can do this. I believe that if I put my mind to it, I believe that if I try, I believe that if I put forth an effort, and rather than just, well, I don't know, my back hurts. I don't know if I should do this. Well, I don't know. No. My back hurt the other day. Well, a week ago, last Friday, we went to see a waterfall, and I was hurting. Without a doubt, I was hurting. Walked down the trail, walked down the thing, and saw this wonderful waterfall. And I took some video of it and some pictures. I'm going to try to share that of it to YouTube if I can. And if not, check out. I will try to upload some of it to Facebook so my friends and family can share the pictures. But if we just give up, it ain't gonna happen, Now here's the thing. I do believe I'm going to go back to Ohio. When? I don't know. How? I don't know. But I believe I'm going to go back. So if I believe it, then I'll figure out a way. Where before I didn't believe I would go. Well, if I get a chance, I'll go. Nah, 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 nah. But now that I know my siblings and brothers and sisters and so forth, I want to go back really bad. I didn't want to leave right then, but it is what it is. Having a group hug, the 8 of us, was just astounding. That's all there is to it. It was astounding. And a lot of folks are like, we ought to write a book about this because it was one of those hallmark moments. Absolutely, But so from Friday to Friday, believe, 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 believe. Please don't give in. Please don't give up. If you've got a dream and it's a good one, we have to make sure that, sometimes those things that we want are, is it really what we need? Going and seeing my brothers and sisters is what we need. It's what I needed. It's what they needed. And the blessings that will continue to flow from that. Well, thank you all. You would hug me? Thank you. Group hug. Cosmic hugs, everybody. Honest to goodness. I know I've been a little weepy, teary-eyed here this afternoon, but I'll tell you, the gratitude that I feel and whatever the expense and being able to be with them folk after all these years, if you think it can't be done, well, but I have my sister my sister Lynn, to be able to say she was the one that believed it and so forth. So cosmic hugs, everybody, to each and every one of you hugging each other. And regardless of what your belief is, if you have a strong connection with nature, with the earth, with Mother Earth, however you want to describe it, then in my humble opinion, you are connected to the divine. If you're the one that's picking up cans and garbage where other people throw it out, If you're the ones that respect nature, if you're the one that's got to take your shoes off and wiggle your toes in the grass, however you do it, then understand this. How whatever your mind is trying to tell you, whatever society is trying to tell you, what actually matters is what nature is telling you, what your own soul, your own spirit, your own divine is telling you. You're connected. Well, things might be frosty and a little weird at times, but you're connected. If you have to go out into nature, and we all should want that, have to, got to go put my feet on the ground. I humbly submit that we are all connected to the divine through that. And, we just are. So, regardless of what we eat, who we are, what nationality, what our beliefs are, if you like nature and nature likes you, then we are brothers and sisters, each and every one of us. We are members of the soul tribe. We are members of the cosmic. However you want to describe it, discuss it, or whatever. If you feel nature in your heart, then we are all part of the divine. So believe that, if nothing else. If your belief system is waning, or there's weird stuff out there, and there's a lot of weird stuff out there, are you connected to the universe through the divine of nature? Believe it. We are. We are. So with all of the, am I doing well? Am I going to make it? Am I going to, if you're still connected with nature, and however it is that you do, you might just have a potted plant in the house, but you take care of it because you like to watch it grow. You want to nourish it. Then you are part of the divine. Quite simply put, we don't need all kinds of rhetoric and discussions and an hour's worth of running my mouth to make us believe that we are. So, hey, Sandra, we are here only a short time in this form, right? League of the Like-Minded Beings. Yes, sir, Ian. Absolutely. This live connect will see Resurrection Day is no fiction. Michelle tests everything for the cause. Right, Roman. Absolutely. You are an innate, I'll never give up. Yep. So, anyway, my dear friends, have a great Friday. The 4th is coming up on Sunday. Oh, just as a side note, when I got there last Saturday to my brother's house up there at Russell's Point at the lake, Indian Lake, they shot off fireworks for like almost 30 minutes. I mean, big, huge. And I was like, man, what a homecoming. But so anyway, my dear friends, have a wonderful weekend. Please stay safe. There are crazy people out there. Roman says, I can see people how they are, and they do not see what I can see. Yeah, that's agreeable. See you soon. You too, Max. Somebody wants to chat on the phone. I've gotten like 20 phone calls a day from just spam and crap. But anyway, remember, each one of us. Yeah, not a clue who that is. Some more spam in the phone. TTFN, right. Thank you. Cheers, everyone. Have a great weekend. Cause is calling. Yeah, I put a note on the video today that said go. And I said, thank you, Dante, and to the cause. We those of us of the Silent 72 continue to work for the cause, and we continue to believe, 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 believe. So lots of strange stuff going on, but you know, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep your connection to nature, to the divine. And regardless of words or rhetoric or somebody else is trying to tell you, if you don't believe in Jesus, uh, smile sweetly and be kind to them. Yeah, Roman, I put in. I've done videos about the Silent 72 plus, and it's for every one of us that is working for the cause to make it a reality. And so, but to that point, so my friends, I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many, 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 many blessings from the universe. I continue to pray that each and every day, even while I was away, I prayed for you folk, that each and every one of you would continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. And in that law of three, which really makes a whole lot of sense to me, especially now after this journey, that I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of your relatives, and all of your relations will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many, 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 many blessings in the universe. So many people will get caught up in, well, things aren't really running my way, or I wish something else, or something, something, something. And we have to be thankful every single day for the simple things that we have, because those simple things add up into great, big, huge things. We're all a part of this. And I thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. Thank you for your participation with the divine. Regardless of how somebody else tries to explain it, if you feel it in your heart, if you gotta go hug a tree, you gotta go stick your fingers in the dirt, you gotta help plant something and water it to keep it growing, then you're a part of this. You are a part of the divine. We already are a part of the divine, but that's what shows, that's the proof to us. People who don't care, they don't share it. And I will continue to pray for them too. Goodness will bless you. Thank you. I've already been blessed so many times. Yeah, Duggar's over here, he's sleeping out. Thanks, Barry, for coming on. We are simple, but we also speak often, so not so good. Yeah, we don't have to speak all the time. Our soul will speak for us. Our spirit will speak volumes, and those volumes are love. Keep up the good work, my friends. I know you're doing great. So Teresa, Elderberry, Michelle, Witch Moon, Roman, thank you, thank you. And if I missed any of y'all hearing that, I'll be back later on, maybe sometime this weekend. Oh, Delaney, how are you, Pearl? Oh, you missed an hour. I gotta get up and walk around. We'll call you over the weekend. Okie doke. Keep up the good work, my friends. If you're still trying, if you still believe, then you're on the right track. Keep up the good work, okay? And remember, we are all in this together. We really are, one way or the other. So stay healthy, my friends. If you're near the river, try not to fall. It really hurts, especially on the rocks. So much love to you all. And as I usually say from South Georgia, TTFN, ta-ta for now. And ween, everybody. Cheers. Till next time, be sweet, be safe. And, if you shoot off any firecrackers or stuff, don't lose a finger, okay? So we love you. Till next time, bye, everybody. I love you. Thank you. Cheers.